Once again, we're staying in our office layout.dwg file. And I'm going to take you through a little bit of grip editing in a moment, but we do need to do a little bit of housekeeping. You'll notice the hatch for our walls is still sitting outside of our walls at the moment. So we want to tidy that up and make that look neater in the drawing first. So let's go to our layer drop down. So we go to the layers panel, layer drop down, just make sure we're on the hatching layer for the moment. Just make sure it's a bit of a coverall to make sure that everything goes onto the hatching layer when we're working with the hatch command. Now what we do need to do is we need to get that hatch back inside the wall lines. So what we do is we go to the draw panel on the home tab on the ribbon and we click on the fly out here like so. There's the hatch command. And as you can see, it's asking us to pick an internal point. You'll also notice we've gone to the contextual hatch creation tab that we talked about earlier. So now this time we are going to use some of the tools on that hatch creation tab. Now what we need to do is match properties. So we're going to go to the options panel here. And you see we've got match properties there. If I click on the flyout, we can use the current origin or use the source hatch origin. It doesn't matter which one you use. I would use the current origin at the moment. And we're going to click on match properties here like so. And what we do is we select the hatch object that we want to take the properties from. So we put the pick box over it and left click. And you'll see there now that we're prompted to pick an internal point where we're going to match those hatch properties. So if you come in now and hover inside the wall lines, can you see? You get a little preview there of your hatch, left click, and that hatch has now been placed. Notice you can carry on hatching and make the whole drawing look really weird if you want to. You don't want to do that. Close hatch creation up here, click on the green tick, job done. This hatching is now surplus to requirements. We click on it, right click, erase on the shortcut menu. So now everything's tidied up. Don't worry about that little pop-up that just appeared top right. That was talking about hatch patterns with non-associative boundaries and so on. You don't need to worry about that. And as you can see, it just fades back away into AutoCAD after a little while anyway. So we were talking about grips. How do we do some grip editing? Well, what we're going to do, we're going to select this chair, this desk, this computer, this plant. We're then going to right click and erase them. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use grips to mirror them over here. We're going to use the mirror tool from the grip editing tools to do what we did previously with the mirror earlier. So if we zoom in a bit so that we can see what we're doing, and get in nice and tight when you're zooming in and out. It's so much easier to zoom in and see the detail in your AutoCAD drawings. Use that zoom and pan to your advantage. So now we're going to select our desk plant, our desk, our computer, and our chair. Now all of those, you'll notice, have got grips, those little blue squares. Now those grips are really important because if I select one of those grips and click on it, like this one up here, can you see on the top corner of the desk? It goes a red color. If I left click on it, it then becomes what they call a hot grip. It goes a dark red. And you'll notice now, I can start moving that desk around using that grip. But I can also work with other tools. If I right click now, these are my grip editing tools. Now what we want to do is we want to do a mirror. So if I click on mirror now, can you see it's mirroring all of the selected objects, but from that little red grip, which is not quite where we want to mirror from. So instead of specifying the second point of the mirror line there, what I do is I right click and I go to base point. Now it asks for a base point to mirror from. So I'm going to the little midpoint snap, remember there on the partition wall, get that midpoint snap. And as you drag vertically upwards now, can you see it's working in exactly the same way as it would when you were mirroring with the mirror command. Now, just before you place that second point, right click again though, and select copy. Otherwise, it will just mirror from one side to the other as if you were erasing the source objects. So make sure you got that copy kicked in. You can right click at any time to work with these grip editing tools, which is quite handy. So up the polar tracking line, make sure you've got 90 degrees, left click on the polar tracking line, And you can see now that you've done a mirror and a base point and a copy. All you've got to do now is press enter to finish. Make sure you hit escape to deselect the selected objects. That's the one thing when you're grip editing. Make sure you hit escape to deselect the original objects. If we zoom out now, you can see that grip editing, we've replicated what was in the left-hand cubicle into the right-hand cubicle.